Hidden inside old drawers and dusty coin jars, there are $1 coins worth more than gold. And today you're about to discover the rarest pieces that ordinary people have found in pocket change. These are the coins that turn one simple dollar into thousands, and sometimes even life-changing money. So if you think your dollar coins are common, think again. Because what I'm about to show you will completely change the way you look at old U.S. currency forever. Old $1 coins hold secrets that even many collectors don't know, and some of these coins are so rare that people have unknowingly spent them without realizing they were worth a fortune. Today we dive deep into the hidden world of forgotten Morgan and Peace dollars coins that carry history, mystery, and unbelievable value. So buckle up, because one of these coins might be sitting in your home right now waiting to make you rich. Year 1972 stands as a significant chapter for collectors, historians, and everyday people alike. The 1972 $1 coin, known officially as the Eisenhower dollar, represents not just a piece of currency, but a symbol of a transitional era in United States minting history. This coin, minted to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower after his passing in 1969, carries with it stories of a nation recovering from turbulent times. The Eisenhower dollar was the first dollar coin issued by the United States Mint since the Peace dollar series ended in 1935. This revival came during a period marked by the space race technological advancements and a renewed sense of national pride. Dwight D. Eisenhower himself, being the supreme commander of the Allied forces in Europe during World War II and the 34th President of the United States, embodies leadership, strength, and unity. The obverse of the coin features the left-facing bust of Eisenhower designed by Frank Gasparro, who was the chief engraver of the United States Mint. At that time, his initials FG can be seen on the truncation of Eisenhower's neck, which is a detail that numismatists often look for. The inscriptions include "Liberty above the head," "In God we trust" on the left, and the date, 1972. Below the portrait for many collectors, the Eisenhower dollar also represents a fascinating journey through various mint marks and striking qualities the coin was produced. In 3 different mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with no mint mark D and S. Respectively, the Philadelphia issues bear no mint mark and were minted in clad composition intended mainly for circulation. The Denver Mint produced similar circulation strikes with the D mint mark, while the San Francisco Mint produced both circulation strikes and special collector editions in a 40% silver composition known as the blue and brown Ikes, depending on the packaging. These collector versions have become highly sought after, not only for their silver content, but for their historical value. The reverse of the coin features an adaptation of the Apollo 11 mission insignia commemorating America's monumental achievement of landing a man on the moon in 1969. This was the first time a coin depicted an image directly related to the space program. The design shows an eagle landing on the moon clutching an olive branch with the Earth visible in the distance. This imagery ties Eisenhower, the president who championed the early days of NASA, to the success of the Apollo missions. The inscription, "United States of America," arcs across the top, with E pluribus unum above the eagle and $1 at the bottom. For numismatists, the 1972 Eisenhower dollar offers a complex field of varieties and errors that can make the difference between a common coin and a numismatic treasure. The most famous varieties are the 3 types of reverse designs known as Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3. These types relate specifically to the Philadelphia minted coins and are distinguished by subtle differences in the Earth's islands and coastlines behind the eagle. The Type 2 reverse is considered the rarest of the 3 due to a die variety that features a less defined depiction of Florida and the Caribbean. This error was corrected mid-year, making surviving specimens valuable to collectors. The distribution of these coins is another intriguing aspect. The general public initially struggled to accept the large size of the Eisenhower dollar in everyday transactions. Its diameter of 38.1 millimeters and weight of 22.7 grams made it cumbersome compared to the smaller coins people were accustomed to handling. Banks, casinos, and vending machine operators, however, found a use for these coins, especially in the booming gaming industry in Nevada, where slot machines were king. The coin became a staple in Las Vegas casinos for decades, even after it ceased to circulate widely. Elsewhere, it is important to note that the Eisenhower dollar paved the way for subsequent dollar coin experiments in the U.S., including the Susan B. Anthony dollar and the Sacagawea dollar, each of which attempted to address the issue of practicality and public acceptance that the Eisenhower dollar faced. The 1972 $1 coin represents more than its face value. It captures a time when the nation sought to honor a great leader while celebrating its technological triumphs and navigating the practical realities of modern commerce. Today, collectors cherish these coins, not just for their monetary worth, but for the stories they carry. The different mint marks and varieties have created a thriving niche market, with some examples commanding high premiums at auction collectors often seek out. Coins with full strikes, minimal wear, and clear details on both the obverse and reverse proof versions produced at the San Francisco Mint remain among the most beautiful examples of the design, with deeply mirrored fields and frosted devices that showcase the artistry of Frank Gasparro. To truly appreciate the 1972 Eisenhower dollar, one must consider its broader context. It was a coin that connected the past to the future, a tribute to a president who guided the nation through both war and peace, a nod to the triumph of the Apollo program, and a reminder of the challenges that come with changing public habits in currency use. As you hold a 1972 $1 coin, you are holding a piece of American resilience, innovation, and commemoration. It's a coin that may look simple at first glance, but when you dive into its varieties, mintages, and historical significance, it unfolds into a story that can fill books, lectures, and indeed entire video features. The production process at the United States Mint during this era was also evolving. New machinery and quality control measures were implemented to meet the demands of both circulation and collector markets. Mint employees faced the challenge of producing a coin that was both durable enough for heavy use in casinos, yet beautiful enough to satisfy discerning collectors. The coin blanks, or planchets, had to be precisely cut, weighed, and annealed to ensure consistent quality dies were prepared with great care to bring out the best details of Gasparro's design. Yet even with these precautions, striking errors and die wear led to many interesting anomalies. These include double dies off center strikes and die clashes, which are all prized by collectors who specialize in Eisenhower dollars. Many collectors enjoy the hunt for these errors and varieties, attending coin shows, auctions, and online marketplaces to find that elusive piece that completes their set. The legacy of the Eisenhower dollar continues to inspire new generations of numismatists who appreciate not only the coin itself, but the larger story of American culture and progress that it represents. This coin serves as an educational gateway, introducing people to the art, science, and history embedded in our everyday money. When you think about the journey of a 1972 $1 coin from the moment it was struck at the mint to its use in casinos or bank vaults, or tucked away in a collector's album, it becomes clear that this small, round piece of metal has witnessed countless transactions, moments of chance in gaming halls, and the quiet pride of a collector adding it to their collection. Each coin tells a unique story shaped by where it traveled and who held it through the decades. The Eisenhower dollar remains a tangible link to an era of American optimism and ambition, and while it may not circulate widely today, its legacy lives on through the passion of those who preserve and study it. This enduring interest ensures that the story of the 1972 $1 coin will continue to be told for generations to come, expanding our understanding of how money can connect us to the past and inspire us for the future. As you explore your own collection, or perhaps consider acquiring your first Eisenhower dollar, remember that you are not just collecting coins. You are safeguarding pieces of American history, each with its own story, waiting to be discovered, shared, and celebrated. I told you some versions of this coin are worth thousands and hiding in plain sight in your old pocket change. This story will take you deep inside the secret vaults of the U.S. Mint, the political pressures of the late 1970s, the historic debut of a woman on American currency, the Susan B. Anthony dollar, and the massive public backlash that nearly killed the coin. In its first year, we will explore the types, the rare varieties, the mistakes and errors, and the one coin so rare that only a few collectors have ever seen it with their own eyes. Buckle up, because this 2-hour journey into the history, value, and hidden secrets of the 1979 $1 coin will change how you look at American money forever. This is not just a story, it is a treasure hunt, and you are about to begin. The year was 1979, and the United States was on the edge of major change. Inflation was rising, gas prices were surging, and the American people were looking for hope and leadership in a time of economic uncertainty. And while the world watched the headlines about the economy, politics, and international conflict, the United States Mint was preparing for a major change that would forever alter the course of American coinage history. They were about to introduce a brand new $1 coin, a coin that would feature a groundbreaking design, a smaller size, and for the first time in American history, the face of a real woman who was not a mythological figure, not a symbol, but a real flesh-and-blood American hero, Susan B. Anthony. This coin was not just about money. It was about symbolism. It was about recognition. It was about honoring the fight for women's rights and putting it in the pockets of every American. The Susan B. Anthony $1 coin, also known as the SBA dollar, was officially authorized by Congress in 1978 and released to the public in 1979, but from the beginning it faced controversy, confusion, and rejection. It was a coin with the heart of a revolution, but the look of a quarter, and that would be its greatest curse and its most famous story. The design of the 1979 $1 coin was unlike anything seen before. It was small, it was round, and it was made of a copper nickel-clad composition. It featured Susan B. Anthony on the obverse side. Her profile, stern, determined, confident, the way she was remembered in history. A leader of the women's suffrage movement who helped pave the way for the 19th Amendment. The reverse side showed the Apollo 11 mission insignia, a tribute to American space exploration originally used on the Eisenhower dollar. It was bold and powerful, but critics said it looked too much like a quarter. The public was confused. Vending machines rejected it, cashiers mistook it, and collectors were left wondering what this coin really meant. Now let's dig deep into the varieties of the 1979 $1 coin, because this is where the story becomes rare, valuable, and historic. The most famous variety is the 1979 wide rim or near-date variety on most 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars. The date is far from the rim, but on some coins minted in Philadelphia, the date is much closer. This wide rim variety is much more rare and desirable among collectors, and in high grade it can be worth hundreds of dollars, even more, if certified by professional grading companies like PCGs or NGC. But that is not the only rarity. The 1979 S-proof coins made in San Francisco also have two varieties known as Type 1 and Type 2. The Type 1 has a filled or blob-like S-mint mark, while the Type 2 has a clearer, sharper. As this difference may seem minor, but Type 2 is far more rare, and in deep cameo-proof condition, it can bring serious money collectors seek out these proof varieties with intense passion because they represent the finest quality coins made that year. The story of the 1979 $1 coin is not just about minting errors or collectible value. It is about the failure and redemption of a coin that was ahead of its time, the United States Mint. Believed that Americans would embrace a small dollar coin similar to those used in Europe and Canada. They hoped it would save money and reduce the need for paper currency, but the coin was simply too close in size and appearance to the quarter, and the American public rejected it by 1981. The mint stopped regular production, and the Susan B. Anthony dollar quietly faded away until a brief revival in 1999. But what many people do not know is that millions of these coins still circulate today, and some of them are worth much more than face value. If you have a 1979 $1 coin, check the mint mark, check the rim. Look for signs of the wide rim, near-date variety, or the clear S Type 2 proof. It might be a treasure hiding in plain sight, and many people have unknowingly spent these rare coins in change jars and vending machines without ever realizing their worth. In addition to the wide rim and proof varieties, there are also mint errors that can command huge premiums. These include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, double dies, and wrong planchet errors. One famous example is a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar struck on a Sacagawea dollar planchet, a minting mistake that should not have happened, but somehow did. And because of its rarity and the story behind it, it sold for thousands of dollars at auction. We must also talk about the historical importance of this coin beyond its monetary value. Susan B. Anthony was one of the most influential women in American history, born in 1820. She spent her life fighting for civil rights abolition, and most notably women's suffrage. She was arrested for voting illegally in 1872 and became a symbol of the movement that would eventually secure voting rights for women in 1920, the year the 19th Amendment was ratified, and it was only fitting that in 1979, nearly 60 years later, her image would be placed on a United States coin for the Bay, first time honoring her legacy and continuing the fight for equality. The decision to feature Susan B. Anthony was not without controversy. Some believed it was a political move. Others thought it was long overdue. But either way, it marked a significant moment in American coinage history and paved the way for future coins featuring real women like the Sacagawea dollar in 2000 and the American Women Quarter series in recent years. As we explore the minting process of the 1979 $1 coin, we learn that it was struck at three major mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark. The Denver coins carry a D, and the San Francisco coins have an S. The business strike coins were made for circulation, while the proof coins were made for collectors and sold in special packaging. These proof coins are known for their mirror-like surfaces and sharp details, making them highly collectible. Among collectors today, the 1979 $1 coin is a fascinating piece, not just for its varieties, but for its story. It is a coin that tells us about the state of America in the late 1970s, about changing roles in society, about economic challenges, and about how even a well-intentioned coin can fail in the public eye despite all its historic value. But time has a way of changing perceptions, and today the Susan B. Anthony dollar is appreciated not just for what it was, but for what it represented. Coin collectors often look for high-grade examples of the 1979 $1 coin in mint state condition, MS-65 or higher. These coins are difficult to find because they were often mishandled, rejected, or simply not saved in pristine condition. And as the years pass, the number of surviving high-grade coins continues to shrink, increasing their value and appeal to serious numismatists. So what should you look for if you have a 1979 $1 coin in your collection? First, identify the mint mark if there is none. It is from Philadelphia. If there is a D, it is from Denver. If there is an S, it could be a proof coin or a business strike. Next, examine the rim and date. If the date is very close to the rim, it may be the rare wide rim variety. Finally, if you have a proof coin, examine the mint mark closely with a magnifying glass or microscope and see if it is the Type 2 variety with a sharp, clear S. Sold at auction for impressive prices in 2020, a 1979 S Type 2 proof dollar in perfect proof, 70 deep cameo grade sold for over $4,000, and a wide rim near-date variety in MS-67 condition sold for nearly $1,500, proving that even modern coins can carry substantial value when rarity, condition, and demand align. The future of the 1979 $1 coin remains bright in the world of collecting as more people become aware of its varieties, errors, and historical significance. The demand continues to grow, and while it may never have found its place in everyday circulation, it has secured a permanent place in numismatic history as a coin that dared to be different, that carried the legacy of a pioneer, and that reminds us all that even small things can leave a lasting mark. This concludes our full history of the 1979 $1 coin, from its conception to its rejection, from its hidden rarities to its modern value, from its minting process to the powerful story of Susan B. Anthony herself. This coin is more than just metal. It is memory, legacy, and treasure. Keep searching your change, keep studying your coins, and who knows, you might just hold a piece of American history in your hand without even knowing it. What if I told you that a single coin, minted in the year America celebrated its 200th birthday, holds a secret story of patriotism, politics, rare errors, hidden mint marks, and unexpected value that collectors are still chasing today? This is not just any coin. This is the legendary 1976 bicentennial $1 coin, and what lies behind its design, production, circulation, and numismatic journey will leave you stunned. This isn't just about money, it's about history struck in metal, a piece of American spirit you can hold in your hand, and today we'll uncover it all, from the roots to the rarest versions, every minting twist, and the treasure hunters who dedicate their lives to finding the most perfect 1976 dollar ever made. The 1976 $1 coin holds a unique and powerful place in American numismatic history. It was created during a time of great celebration and national reflection, when the United States of America marked its 200th anniversary of independence with a spirit of unity, pride, and remembrance. The U.S. Mint wanted to produce something that would represent this milestone, not just on paper or in speeches, but in physical metal, something that every American could see, touch, and carry. The result was the 1976 bicentennial coinage, a special series of quarters, half dollars, and $1 coins that featured brand new reverse designs celebrating the country's birth and journey. The $1 coin chosen for this honor was the Eisenhower dollar, named after President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who had passed away only a few years before and whose image first appeared on the dollar. In 1971, the decision to redesign the reverse of the Eisenhower dollar for 1976 was symbolic. It connected the military leader turned president with the celebration of freedom and democracy that America was preparing to commemorate. This new reverse featured the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon, symbolizing both American independence and the country's achievements in space exploration, including the moon landing of 1969, which had occurred just a few years before the design was created by Dennis R. Williams, a 22-year-old student whose work was chosen from a nationwide design competition. His art would go on to be seen by millions and held in hands across the nation and even across the globe. Now, the story of the 1976 $1 coin begins far earlier than its official release. It begins with planning from the U.S. Mint and the Treasury Department. In the early 1970s, they needed to coordinate the massive production and redesign efforts for three major coins: the quarter, the half dollar, and the dollar. And unlike normal coin production, this series would carry a dual date rather than simply the year of minting. Every coin would read 1776 to 1976 to mark the bicentennial. The Mint also planned to strike these coins in both copper-nickel-clad compositions for circulation and special silver-clad versions for collectors. The silver versions would be struck at the San Francisco Mint and offered in proof and uncirculated sets that would become highly desirable among collectors for their beautiful finishes and low mintage numbers. As production began, one of the key concerns was striking quality. The large size of the Eisenhower dollar made it difficult to produce without flattening some of the design elements, especially on coins meant for circulation. The high relief of the Liberty Bell and the moon was challenging to achieve with clarity, and so many coins from this era show weakness in those areas, collectors would later come to judge these coins not just by date and mint mark, but by the sharpness of strike, the luster of the surface, and the presence or absence of certain die varieties and mint errors. These mint marks themselves tell part of the story. The 1976 $1 coins were struck at 3 mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco coins with no mint mark were struck in Philadelphia, and those with a D or S represent Denver and San Francisco respectively. The San Francisco Mint was also responsible for producing the silver-clad versions, which are distinguishable by their bright white surfaces, heavier weight, and unique metallic composition of 40% silver and 60% copper. These coins were never intended for circulation and were sold directly to collectors in special packaging, but some of them have made their way into the public over the years, leading to confusion and excitement when found in circulation. And then there are the rare and unusual variations that elevate the 1976 Eisenhower dollar to legend among collectors. Some coins feature double dies, where the design was stamped twice, creating a noticeable shadow effect around the letters and numbers. Some have off-center strikes, broad strikes, or other minting errors that make them unique. One specific variety that stands out is the Type 1 and Type 2 reverse designs, although both feature the same Liberty Bell over the moon layout. Type 1 coins struck early in production show a bolder, more blocky font with less detail in the earth behind the moon, while Type 2 coins struck later feature a finer, thinner font and more detailed background collectors. Consider Type 2 to be the more desirable of the two, especially in proof and silver examples. Over the decades since its release, the 1976 Eisenhower dollar has continued to grow in appreciation among coin collectors and historians alike. While the coin never achieved great popularity in circulation due to its large size and weight, it has become a staple of American numismatics due to its historical context, symbolic design, and the passion it inspires in those who study its origins today. Finding a pristine example, especially in silver or in high-grade proof condition, can bring considerable value and pride to collectors, with certain versions reaching high prices at auction and in private sales, depending on condition, rarity, and provenance. The coin also played a unique role in American culture during the 1970s, being distributed through banks' post offices, and even as part of government educational kits. It was promoted as a patriotic keepsake, a token of American progress and unity, and its presence in homes across the country served as a reminder of the nation's enduring story, from revolution to modern republic. The Eisenhower dollar was the last large-size dollar ever produced for general use, and by 1979 it was replaced by the much smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar, making the 1976 issue the last grand coin of its kind. Even today, the hunt continues. Collectors search coin rolls, estate sales, and old family albums, hoping to discover a forgotten gem, a silver treasure, or a rare error that could rewrite their collection's story and connect them directly to a moment when America paused to celebrate 200 years of freedom, honor, and change. The 1976 $1 coin remains more than a piece of money. It is a metal canvas carrying symbols of liberty, space, achievement, presidential legacy, and the dreams of a young nation entering its third century. And for those who appreciate its full story, every detail, every edge, every shine, and every flaw tells a piece of history worth holding on to. So what secrets does this coin hide? What makes it one of the most watched collectibles in the world, and why is it becoming a crown jewel for rare coin hunters? Find out in this deep journey into the story of the rare 1971 Eisenhower dollar, where we uncover the hidden stories and secret values behind rare American coins. Today, we take you on a powerful journey through the history of the 1971 $1 coin, also known as the Eisenhower dollar. This is not just another coin. This is a symbol of a new era in American numismatics, and it stands at the beginning of one of the most important chapters in coin collecting history. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was the first $1 coin issued by the United States Mint since the end of the Peace Dollar series in 1935. For 36 years, there was no circulating dollar coin. Then came this bold new creation born out of tribute and technology issued to honor General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States and the Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces during World War II. The coin also commemorated the Apollo 11 moon landing, making it the only U.S. coin to simultaneously honor a military leader and a major event in space exploration. This coin was not struck in silver for general circulation. Instead, it was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, while a limited number of special collector versions were minted in 40% silver from San Francisco, known as the blue and brown Ikes, depending on their packaging. The regular circulation. Coins came out of Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia version bears no mint mark, while the Denver version carries a small D mark beneath Eisenhower's neck on the obverse side. Let us go back in time to the year 1969, when Dwight D. Eisenhower passed away shortly after America successfully landed the first man on the moon. The United States Congress wanted to commemorate both these historic events, and so legislation was introduced to authorize a new $1 coin. The debates in Congress were long and passionate. Some wanted a silver dollar, others wanted to move away from silver altogether, with silver prices rising. The U.S. Mint needed a practical solution, and the final decision was to strike circulating coins in copper-nickel clad and create collector issues in limited silver. The design of the Eisenhower dollar was entrusted to Frank Gasparro, who was then chief engraver of the United States Mint. Gasparro had the difficult task of capturing the heroic and presidential essence of Eisenhower and merging that with a bold reverse image that symbolized America's dominance in space. The obverse featured a strong side profile of President Eisenhower with the word "Liberty" above and the date 1971 below, and the national motto, "In God We Trust." The reverse is where the coin makes history with a unique design inspired by the Apollo 11 mission patch. It shows a bald eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch in its talons, with the Earth visible above. This symbol not only reflected peace, but also America's presence on the moon and its role in shaping the modern world in both war and exploration. It was the first and only time the moon was prominently featured on a large circulating coin. Collectors quickly embraced the coin, but it also sparked criticism due to its large size and weight. The Eisenhower dollar was the largest circulating coin since the end of the silver dollar era, and because of its bulkiness, it saw limited use in daily commerce. Many were kept in drawers, piggy banks, or never spent at all. This low circulation usage ironically helped preserve many coins in high grade, and today pristine examples of the 1971 Ike dollar in MS-65 or higher are highly collectible. Let us now look into the different varieties of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar. The most commonly known are the Philadelphia No Mint mark and the Denver D Mint mark, but the collector world was shaken when specialists discovered two major varieties of the 1971 D Eisenhower dollar. These are now known as Type 1 and Type 2 reverse varieties, with differences in the details of the Earth and the islands around Florida and the Caribbean. The Type 1 reverse has more pronounced and blocky islands, while Type 2 features delicate, smaller outlines. These subtle changes have created significant interest among collectors. Another interesting aspect of the 1971 dollar is the special collector issues. The U.S. Mint released proof and uncirculated versions in silver clad. These were struck at the San Francisco Mint and targeted toward the numismatic community. The brown Ike came in a hard plastic case with a brown box, while the blue Ike came in a soft plastic package with a blue envelope. These were not meant for circulation and thus are often found in pristine condition today. Although not composed of 90% silver, their limited mintage and unique packaging make them highly desirable. Moving on to mintage numbers, the 1971 dollar saw large production totals, with the Philadelphia Mint producing over 106 million coins. The Denver Mint struck over 68 million coins, and the San Francisco Mint produced a combined total of nearly 7 million silver collector coins. However, while these numbers may seem high, survival rates in mint state are much lower, and values increase dramatically with condition rarity and the presence of unique varieties. Now let us dive into the coin's historical importance in the numismatic world. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was the first circulating dollar coin in clad metal. It was the first dollar coin in the modern era, and it set the stage for all future large dollar coins, including the Susan B. Anthony dollar, the Sacagawea dollar, and the presidential dollar series without the Eisenhower dollar. The pathway to these modern coin series may have never formed the 1971 Eisenhower dollar, bridged the gap between the silver past and the practical modern era. In recent years, the demand for Eisenhower dollars has grown, especially among younger collectors who are discovering this large, bold coin for the first time. Online platforms, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, have brought renewed attention to this once overlooked series, and collectors are now beginning to realize the hidden value in early Ike dollars like the 1971 issues. Some even speculate that as silver prices continue to fluctuate and vintage coin collecting gains popularity, the 1971 Eisenhower dollar will become even more valuable as a historical investment, especially the silver issues and the low population high-grade pieces. We must also consider the educational importance of the coin. It teaches history, it shows artistry, it bridges American politics, war space, science, and economy, all in one disc of metal, and that's what makes it special more than a coin. The 1971 dollar is a symbol of American strength, leadership, and progress. To conclude, the journey of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar is not over. It continues to captivate collectors across the globe. It stands as a milestone in United States coinage. It honors a 5-star general and president. It celebrates mankind's greatest leap to the moon. It introduces a new coin material and format, and it sparks the passions of collectors new and old. This is why the 1971 Eisenhower dollar is not just worth its face value. It's worth the memory, the story, and the legacy it holds in the palm of your hand. This coin speaks without words, it holds history without pages, and it brings us all a little closer to the golden age of American greatness. Stay with us as we explore each version of the coin, each variety, each mint, and each collector tip that can help you identify the most valuable ones and build your own treasure from the past right here on the Rare American Coins channel.